What's up, guys? I debated doing this video for a few days now. Personal reasons why I didn't want to do it, personal reasons why I did kind of want to do it. I ultimately decided to do it because my level of misanthropy has just reached an all-time high, and I just feel like I have the need to say just what I have to say. I'm going to say my piece, and then that'll be it. As a lot of us know, there was a video that surfaced on YouTube on October 11th, chronicling, I think, 2 to 3 years of this 15-year-old girl from Canada, her 2 years of basically just suffering of torment, harassment, and bullying, both physical and cyberbullying. The full story as to what happened to her can be found on the video that was uploaded. I am Amanda Todd. As well as there are several media outlets that have posted this story, but it can also be found on the Facebook page, Rest in Peace Amanda Todd, that has been published on the Facebook. They also have a Twitter, but you'll probably find more of the backstory on Facebook, since I think Twitter sort of limits the amount of content that you can have. But the basic story behind things, as a lot of people have tried to really boil it down to, something that just makes her turn out to seem just like your everyday just slut. It basically is what they've tried to make her seem like a slut, a hoe, whore, you name it. That's what they've been trying to, whatever word you prefer to use is what they've been trying to make her out to be. But basically what really happened is she was in 7th grade. She was lied to and exploited and pressured into exposing herself on a webcam. Somebody took a picture of her exposing herself. I think there's just one picture. I don't know how many pictures there may be. I'm thinking there's just one. But that was taken from her webcam, and several months down the road, this guy who took that picture said, hey, give me a show, or I'm going to send this picture out to everybody that you know. She did not listen to him. She didn't do what he said, and basically he sent the picture out to friends, family, the school she went to, everybody who went to her school. This obviously turned her into what everybody just called her a hoe, a whore, because that's the way it seems to work with girls. Guys, it's not at all very the same. There's like a double standard there. Picture of some guy, there's not really any part of us that is really anybody holds sacred, but if a picture of us somehow gets out on the internet, it's really no big deal. It really passes. Nobody really cares. Nobody pays attention. But if it's a girl, the minute there's boobs on the internet, instantly that girl is a whore. She's worthless. She deserves what she gets. It's weird that it plays that way, but that's the way society seems to be. Will it change? Maybe, hopefully, but for now, that seems to just be the common consensus in society on girls, and if their pictures get on the internet. So basically, she tried to move. She moved to school. She changed schools, and the guy found out where her new address, her new school was, and found out all those people and sent that picture out there. And she ended up even moving towns. She moved to towns to live with her dad, hopefully to try to get away with this. I think that's where she met this boy who she thought liked her. Again, she was lied to, used, exploited. She, hooked up with her, and it turns out, he had a girlfriend. So, basically the whole school and the group of people there, his girlfriend, and her friend, her and his friends, a small group of them, gang up on her. I think it might have been the girlfriend who was involved in the fight. Maybe some of her friends too. They beat her up pretty bad. Father found her in a ditch somewhere. So again, she was lied to and abused, and that led to suicide attempt. Her first suicide attempt, which was drinking bleach. It was unsuccessful. She ended up going to the hospital, and they saved her. But that just basically left her to come home to her social site profiles, whether it had been MySpace or Facebook. I'm not sure at the time which one it would have been, but basically filled with posts, comments saying, hey, why don't you go drink some more bleach, or try a different brand next time. And that has followed her even after death. She did successfully commit suicide on, I believe, October 10th, day before that video was posted of I Am Amanda Todd. But photos have quickly surfaced on the internet, I think mostly 9gag. So you might find some on Reddit, and Reddit is a little more usually it's a community of more mature and understanding people than that of 9gag, but I'm sure you can find it. You can find it on Google real quick. It's all over. Several pictures that are basically just mocking her as a kid with a Clorox bottle, saying, you know, pretending to drink it, saying, "Am I Amanda Todd yet?" There's just all these pictures. The ones of her picture. I don't know if it's the only picture, but at least the picture of her exposing herself with, you know, just insulting words around it. And these people that are posting these pictures, this video is not for you. This video is not to condone or call you out on your actions. Even though I guess I'm technically calling you out on your actions, I'm not here to just spend this whole time insulting, going after you, because you are, you know, the reason why this girl killed herself. You are sadists. You embrace the very definition of sadism, and you're terrible people. You directly contributed to the death of this girl. In my mind, that's practically murder. Obviously, it's not direct. You didn't directly kill her physically, but emotionally, spiritually, you pushed her to the point where, you know, she didn't want to live anymore. And those of you who are doing this even after death are just as guilty. You're no better. And that's why I have, you know, I've set comment limitations on this video so that it is not flooded by comments by people like you who have nothing but bad things to say. This video is meant to, you know, reach out. It's meant to support, not necessarily suicide. Suicide is not at all what this video is intended to support, but to support the cause of fighting against bullying. It is the premise of this video. I understand. I mean, as hard as it might seem to, or maybe I don't fully understand, but I feel like I understand why people are so quick to mock those who commit suicide or those who have been bullied or are being bullied. Why it's so easy to mock them. Just the way society is, and like the kids, they see what their friends are doing and what other kids are doing, so it must be cool, it must be fun. I'll make friends that way. I'll avoid being bullied myself by not singling myself out of this huge group who's bullying this one person. And just like the people who are posting these photos, you think you're being funny, you think you're being entertaining, clever even, and they're blaming you. It's so easy to blame the person who killed themselves, because based on, I believe it stems from, you know, the consensus of the majority of religious views, which leaks into society's view on suicide, because religion pretty much runs society, it seems. It is huge part, and obviously in religious cultures, I don't think there's any religious culture that really has any leniency on suicide. It's like instant, you burn in hell. It's something bad. If something bad you don't do, you don't kill yourself. But in my opinion, as I stated, that they're not really killing themselves. They're bullied to death. These people, Amanda Todd, and hundreds of other kids, maybe probably even in the thousands. I don't really have any real statistics. I can tell you that bullying has become an epidemic, and the voices have been stolen, which is why I've deemed the title of this video, you know, the stolen voices. It's really they have had their voices stolen. That's why it's people like there are plenty of the crisis prevention and anti-bullying organizations, and me in this video are, you know, reaching out to address this issue, to try and stir up some significant amount of support to speak for those who have lost their voice or have had their voices stolen from them. Because it seems the more comments that I read on articles following some kid who kills himself over being bullied, these grown-ups, these grown adults that are on here, they're on the forums posting saying that basically bullying is okay. Bullying, they were bullied as a kid and they turned out just fine. Bullying, it gives you character. It teaches you to be tough. And I don't really see the logic in that. I don't see how bullying makes you tough. How bullying is okay at all. There's become this survival of the fittest mentality, and last time I checked, we're not lions and tigers. We don't live in the jungle. We're not on an episode of Lost. There's no survival of the fittest. We are human beings. The reason we have... I apologize, I'm a little rusty on my psychology, but I'm pretty sure it's the reason why we have the frontal cortex, the frontal lobe of our brain, is the human part of us. It's what makes us unique. It's what's supposed to make us not animals. Granted, we are part animal, but that's the one part in our brain that's supposed to make us more than an animal, above, top of the food chain, so to speak, intelligent. But it seems like a lot of people don't understand what bullying is anymore. Bullying isn't just the big kid on the playground who pushes you down and takes your lunch money or calls you fat. Well, calling you fat is in the bullying. Calling you stupid it's in there, but it has grown to an exponential size. I think it would be the term I'm looking for. It's grown to a size that is gargantuan compared to what it has ever been. Used to just be on the playground, for like a half, 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day, maybe a little bit in the classroom, but now it's in the classroom, it's in the halls, cafeteria, it's at the mall, the park, and one of the worst things, one of the negative aspects of 21st century technology is that people have used social media outlets such as Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, to bring bullying. People are bullied in their own home, and what's supposed to be a safe haven for everyone has now become a dungeon to hundreds of thousands of kids across the country, around the world, because they come home to the same abuse and torment that they face at school and at the mall and anywhere else that they happen to be, running into people who just abuse them and harass them on a day-to-day basis. And opponents of the whole cyberbullying, they don't seem to understand what cyberbullying is. All these politicians that are, lack of a better term, they're old. They don't really even know how the internet works. They were around long before the internet was there, before people could get on the internet in their homes and communicate with kids and people, organizations around the globe. It's so easy these days. It's great because, like with this video I'm making, I can reach out to people who have the same opinion that I have, and organizations that are against bullying, cyberbullying around the world because of social media, YouTube, Facebook. I can reach out to that. And then, of course, there's the other side of it, the flip side of the coin, where it can be used as a weapon to hurt and damage minds. But it has to be seen that bullying is not okay. And there's also been a picture, this one really gets me. There's a picture that has surfaced of her, Manitod, on the left side, and a boy who also committed suicide for being bullied on the right side. Basically, they boiled down the Manitod story to, actually, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can quickly, I should have pulled this up beforehand, but it's just a quick Google search away, as always. Thank you, 21st century. Here it is. They have Manitod on the left side, and it says, commit suicide because she was constantly given shit for flashing her boobs online and hooking up with someone in a relationship. Everyone and their mother cry. And then on the right side, commit suicide because he was constantly bullied for being ugly. No one gives two shits. what they have done here, and I never thought. It is sad to see, but it's so ironic and sad at the same time. I have to laugh that people have stooped this low, that they have turned children committing suicide into a competition as to which one deserves more sorrow, more mourning. And basically they're saying, in this picture here, they're basically accusing mainstream media and many of us, the people who made the Rest in Peace Amanda Todd Facebook page and the Twitter page, they're accusing us of choosing her story over another person's story because she was pretty, she was good looking, and it just seems like the mainstream media is just trying to play, oh, it's so much sadder to see a beautiful young girl die than a not so attractive looking boy or just another not so attractive looking other child. And vice versa, they're saying that, I can just see in this that you can see the symbolism in here, that they're pointing out that, oh, she deserved what she got. Her story wasn't as bad, and his story was much worse because he was bullied for being ugly. She just flashed her boobs on a webcam and just couldn't handle that everybody was talking about it and making fun of her. And it digs so much deeper into that than what they have boiled it down to, and it is so sad to see that they've gotten away with boiling it down so much, and they've twisted it. They've twisted the story to seem as if she was just some hoe smutting it up on the internet, and she wasn't. She was exploited, lied to, used, and abused. And his story, I'm not sure of his name, but he, like many other children, all of their suicides are tragic. They are causes of bullying, physical and cyberbullying. They should not have happened. Not enough is being done to prevent it. No legislation that I'm aware of has been passed to make things stricter, stricter punishments on those, who do the bullying. We just sit and we blame the ones who commit suicide for being selfish, for hurting friends and family. And typically they are the most selfless people around. When I was in high school, I know of 2 cases of suicide that happened, I think 1 or 2 years apart. One was a senior, and the other girl, there was a girl, I'm not sure if she was an underclassman or if she was in middle school. But they were from what I gather, and the one I did know, and not personally know as a friend, but I knew of him, I had seen him before around in the hallways, is one of the nicest people you could ever meet. And I'm not exactly sure of the causes of each of their suicides, but because I find it hard to believe that the one guy was bullied because he was so nice, so well liked by people, and so funny and entertaining. But from what I've seen, they're the most selfless people. They help others before themselves, and nobody is really looking out for them like they need them to be looked out for. And sometimes it's hard being a friend of someone who may have committed suicide. You feel like maybe you could have done more, maybe you should have been there more, done something more to try and prevent that from happening. And a lot of times, as hard as you may try, there really is, sad to say, nothing you can do. It's out of your hands at that point. But to blame and accuse the people who do commit suicide of being these horrible, horrible people is blasphemous, in my opinion. Because all suicides are tragic, and they don't have to happen. They shouldn't happen, and they do, and not enough is being done. I mean, there are plenty of crisis prevention centers. There are anti-bullying organizations that I've discussed. You can find them online. I may go and put some links in the description for anybody out there watching who may be experiencing bullying, who may be at that low point in their mind right now, in that dark period of time, or know somebody who's going through that and they need some resources to get some help. But this video that I made, Stolen Voices, call to action, is just to get the message out. Just be one of the hundreds, thousands of people who've been trying to get this message out there that bullying is not okay. We're not, by making it harder or putting more restrictions on kids bullying or doing what needs to be done to prevent them from bullying is not, as a lot of grown men and women have said, generating a just a collection of I'm trying to word I'm looking for. They're basically saying we're raising a generation of pussies. Basically, a generation of soft, oversensitive children, and that's not the case. To end bullying is not saying that we're raising oversensitive children. And in my opinion, I'd rather have a generation of children that are very sensitive, emotionally caring for themselves, their family, their friends, and the people around them, the other human beings that they interact with, than to have a generation or more of sadists. But that's just me. Maybe you do want a generation of sadists and people just going around hurting each other, bullying each other, humiliating each other. But for me personally, and I know a lot of others out there that may be watching this video, we don't want that. I honestly find it to be a warped view of reality that you would want a society controlled by sadists. But this video was designed to state and call to action that bullying is not okay, and I wanted it to be a reach out to families of those children who have committed suicide based on bullying. Very sorry. That's the least we could do is just say how sorry we are that you had to suffer through something like that. And Amanda Todd and her family, especially since I made that the focal point of this video, is reaching out to them if there's anything that the community can do, as far as aid or help, or if you just want this left alone entirely, if you just want us to stop, then I would very much welcome you to post a comment on this video, or get in contact somehow to express your opinions. But bullying is not okay. It needs to be stopped. Physical bullying at school, cyberbullying at your home, on Facebook, it has to have an end put to it. You can either choose to remain blind to it, you can stand with it, or you can fight against it. It's your choice. Thank you.